Well, the Republican National Convention has ended, and here are my final thoughts of what I think this sends, what kind of message I think this sends. First and foremost, what I will say is conservatives are extremely boring. Okay, there wasn't a moment at this convention that stood out for me like, oh my God, that was so entertaining, that was fun, that speech was on fire. Most of these people are very straight-laced, cookie cutter. They're conservatives, and that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying they're not entertainers, and they're certainly not going to have the entertainers. So you can expect to see at the Democratic National Convention the Lady Gagas of the world, the George Clooney's of the world, all the entertainers and celebrities will come out in favor of them, making it more entertaining for people to watch. Beautiful family. The Donald Trump family is so poised and put together. Chef's kiss to how they handle and conduct themselves, because that couldn't have been me. If that was my father that was almost assassinated, I wouldn't have the demeanor that Don Jr. and Eric Trump had. When they were being interviewed by somebody there, they literally just was like, we can't talk to you guys. And I certainly didn't blame them, because the guy was insinuating somehow that Trump caused this upon himself. What about Trump's rhetoric? And I kept thinking to myself, that this is not the time or place. These kids almost lost their dad, almost lost their grandfather, and the way that they held that together shows strength, character, poise, stuff that people in the Democrat Party, I just can't imagine ever having. I just can't. I would imagine they would have been talking about it the entire convention. They would have made it all about that. And the news media, as I said and predicted in my earlier videos, would completely just brush that under the rug. Guarantee you, we're not going to find out much details about the shooter. We're not going to find out much details about anything around this issue. You're going to see a lot of parodies and people making satirical and funny comedy videos. I even made one, because we know darn well the world is a stage. It's an illusion. So, we all are actors acting this thing out. And I think how you carry yourself and how you contain your composure shows a lot about you. And these people definitely show composure, strength, and a mental clarity that I can't imagine anyone else having. Because Kai Trump, the granddaughter of Donald Trump, when she spoke, I was like captivated by this little girl. I said, there's something special about her connection with her grandfather. And it reminds me maybe of my grandfather, maybe the connection I had with my grandfather, the ability to laugh, the ability to say something and you see the approving nod. This is what it felt like watching her. And look at that swing. Somebody posted a video of her swing, and good Lord, she is an amazing golfer. For me, JD Vance being the pick is not a good pick for me personally. I know many of you out there like this guy. I just believe that anybody who's come against you that hard, they'll come against you again. It's kind of like, why pick a snake? And I know that most people will say, well, keep your enemies close, right? Keep people who are haters of you close. Maybe that is what Trump is doing. I can't really determine that, because I'm not working for Donald Trump. I don't know what's going on in his head. But what I would say is, you were almost assassinated, sir. You were almost killed. Why choose people that look at Mike Johnson there. This is a snake if there ever was a snake, all right? JD Vance, the videos coming out about him talking about Trump it's mind-blowing. And the only thing working for him, in my opinion, is the fact that he has a wife from a different culture. His wife is Indian. And that, to me, is the only thing. When I saw her step on stage, I said, oh, well, that's quite interesting. So I'm not trying to make this about race or nothing, but I'm saying that does work to his advantage to bring other people in. And it's like I told my husband, JD Vance has all of the abilities of somebody that could progress really far up the food chain in politics. He's an ex-military veteran, right? A Marine, ex-Marine. He's somebody that's studied. I believe he went to law school at Yale. When he was speaking, so this is what I took away from this. When he was giving his speech at the RNC, right? He made it seem about him. I felt like he was giving a resume speech about himself, because I came from nothing. I had a single mom. He even had the camera pan to his mom. This guy was giving his resume, and I felt like it was just, for me, the timing was bad. I wish he would have waited till after that. We already know, we can go on the internet and find out who you are. I think he should have made this about his loyalty to Donald Trump. He did claim, Trump is the best pick at least 4 or 5 times, but so did many others. And I believe that Trump really, at this time and juncture in his life, needs to be careful who he has in his inner circle. Make no doubt that I believe that if somebody could make that attempt to take him out so close to an election, what can happen even if he wins? It's going to be a tumultuous 4 years if he does win. And they're at any chance they have to do something to him, it's a high probability. And so to have somebody around you that still questioned you, that still wasn't solid. I'm not saying he has to go full-blown Putin here and have only people that are yes men or like a dictator. But it brings me to the concept of, I was watching a video about Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore was talking to a guy, something Renard, and he had a book called The Racket that he just wrote. And I guess he was promoting this book on Jimmy Dore's show. Go check that out. And he was talking about democracy and how it's just an illusion. It's just fake. It's just all a facade. The powers that be put these people in office, and they give you the illusion that you have a choice here when technically you don't. And I personally believe it's the reason why third parties never get picked in any country. It's always, you have 1 or 2 parties that are running against each other, and you have to go with one of them, because the system is set up that way to give you this illusion that you have a choice. But hear me out. Everything that's going on with Trump, everything that's going on in the world, even with, RFK Jr. and his campaign, and how his own family has come out against him, it proves we are living in an illusion. And it proves that we still have people that are absolute and, NPCs, people who are just bots living in society. Because some of the comments I read, even as JD Vance's wife was giving a speech, it was appalling, it was disgusting, and it shows how small-minded people really are, especially people on the Democratic side, because all they focus on is how a person looks and what their beliefs are in the LGBTQIA and racism, and making sure we stick to this narrative that Black people are at a disadvantage. And it's just absurd to me. It's absurd that we buy into the narratives that we're fed from the mainstream media. I urge people, please take off the mainstream news. I will say, take off the news. And if you want to see the news, go to one of your creators that are showing clips of it. So at least you're benefiting somebody that has the same values and beliefs as you do. Be like me. Yesterday I was watching something on TikTok. Oh, it was a live stream of the last night at the RNC. And of course they had CNN and NBC and ABC live streaming this. And I made sure I didn't click on any of theirs. I went to a person that was like from another country, I guess, that was like a smaller channel, and I clicked on their video to see the live stream. I refuse to give these people my eyes. I refuse to give them my watch time, and I urge you to do the same.